All right. Hello, everybody. This is a Sceptical Scotsman. I am doing a dual live stream right now on both YouTube and TikTok. TikTok is my phone, and the laptop is my YouTube live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about the shooting in Minneapolis. As popular as unpopular as that might be, we're going to hit that up. Now, initially, I thought that two different camera angles were showing this two different sections of what happened. I was mistaken. I sent out a correction. Now, I know there's not a whole lot of people on social media who are offering retractions or restatements of fact. And there's a reason for that, because they're not looking back at themselves and seeing what they did wrong. Me, I offer retractions, redactions, and callbacks when I feel the need to. This one I felt the need to. I stated that an officer, judging by the grainy footage that I got to see right after the incident, showed it looked like an officer was being damn near run over. Admittedly, it was grainy footage, and I jumped the gun, and I made a redaction on that. But I did say at the time, in that particular video a few days ago, that officer, if he shot her, okay. Now, knowing the facts as I do now, because I actually went back and looked at it, I didn't wait till after I got off work that day to go and look at everything. But upon seeing the footage and then seeing the right wing's response to it, I was flabbergasted. Number one, she was pulling away. Number two, and I got this a lot on TikTok for some reason, because a bunch of smooth-brained idiots decided to comment. People kept on telling me that this ICE agent, there's no way his hand could have been in the cockpit, because it would have had to have gone through the window. No, if you look at the evidence and actually use your brain, if you haven't watched CSI or watch an autopsy or any shows like now I can't think of the damn name. Investigation Murder, no, Forensic Files. They'll show you all you need to know. But the short and quick of it is the officer took, 3 shots? One was through the windshield, which they've made hugely visible. The other one was outside of the cockpit, maybe. The other one was with his hand in the cockpit. What that means is, in the videos, it shows her window being rolled down. Her window does not mysteriously get rolled up. So this bullshit and smooth brain crap of how did his arm enter the vacuum at the cockpit? Okay, there was a dog in the back seat with the window open so he could stick his head out, I'm assuming, and the driver never rolled her window up. So when he reaches in, when the officer or the agent puts his gun in the fucking cockpit to blow her brains out from 8 inches away, which if you can't make that shot, he shouldn't be an ICE agent. But the way he did everything, he escalated it. She ran into 2 cars because she was fucking dead. Now, having said that, then the officer proceeds to call her a bitch and drives off. And from what the evidence I can see of, multiple people want to go check on this lady. She's fucking toast as far as I can see. And they obstruct an ambulance from getting there directly because they're in harm's way. Okay, first off, the ICE agent isn't supposed to be escalating things. He did. All the officers there, when people are like, well, if she hadn't gotten in the way, if she hadn't kept ICE from doing her job, show me one shred of evidence that you haven't been told what it is that points to them, to her obstructing them. They got out of their car. She was telling them to drive past, keep going. They did not. They got out of their car and bothered with her. She didn't interfere with them. They interfered with her. And no, I'm not being left wing or right wing. I'm being fucking independent. I'm using my goddamn brain. I'm using what God gave me to fucking do this. For all the people who said that he couldn't have shot her in the head through the driver's side window, her driver's side window was down. Literally, it was down. She had her brains blown out from inches away from her head because of some ICE agent who should not have been in that situation to begin with. After hearing about a little bit about his history, it's like, how did this guy get back on active duty instead of pushing a desk? Obviously, his PTSD is kicking in, and he's escalating the danger in the situation. Do they not have tasers? Taser might have ended up her still crashing and getting an airbag to the face, but she wouldn't be dead. Now these are all just right there. Like, it's not hard to figure this shit out. But so many fucking right-wingers have gotten on my TikTok page. My YouTube page hasn't gotten very many views. Mainly, I'm thinking it's because of being suppressed or whatever. TikTok has started going through my conversations when I talk to people and trying to disseminate if I'm a threat or not. I am not a threat. I speak my mind. I speak the truth. I speak facts as far as I know them to be. That's why unlike a lot of other social media influencers and podcasters, I offer redactions. I offer corrections. I do all that because I have integrity. A lot of them got some facts wrong, and they're not offering redactions or retractions or anything. They're not backtracking at all. I don't care if I'm wrong, but I do care that you all rely on me being right. That's why I do the podcast like I do them. I've offered corrections before. This isn't the first time, nor will it be the last. Hopefully I get proven wrong a bunch, but so far all I've gotten from TikTok in the comment section is apparently I'm being delivered to old white Republican conservative Christian males, because that's who does most of the commenting, and most of their accounts are set to private. Mine is not. You can look up my videos. I make them public. I make my shit accessible to all of you. Now, surprising as that is, I think it's rather limp-dicked and smooth-brained to bash me in a video, and then when I go to look at somebody else's account who's bashing me, their account is set to private, so you can't see anything. Well, how about this? How about you go public or shut the fuck up? Literally, shut the fuck up if you can't be open. If you're like, well, the libtards may fucking cancel me. If you're that brave, if you're that responsible, don't worry about getting canceled. I don't give a shit if people cancel me. YouTube's tried shutting me down, and they couldn't because I didn't actually violate any rules. And every time their rules change, it's, well, you need to follow this new rule. You just made that rule up. I'm not going to go back to through all of my videos because I'm not monetized. I don't make money from fucking doing this. Unlike all these other influencers who have to say unalived instead of fucking murdered or killed, they're unalived now. I'm not gonna replace that language. I'm not replacing fact with fucking soft language. Fuck off if you think that. Oh, yes, it's exhaustive having to be this thorough. But if I get canceled on TikTok, I've been canceled on TikTok more than once, and I just take a break and then I come back. And if I get canceled on TikTok, big fucking deal. I still go to YouTube. Cancel me there, I'll just come back on fucking Skylight. yes, I have more than one media outlet that I can use. I was a member of Substack, but Substack is subscriber heavy, and it's mainly for people who literally just do social influencing all the time. That's all they do with their time. I have a job. I work full time. So I don't have the time to fuck off and do everything that social media influencers do. I don't have a very big following. And according to Google, I really don't have much of a pulpit to stand on. But like I said, I don't get paid to do these things. I'm not being paid for my podcast. I don't get paid to do any of this. This is I do this on my free time, and I say what I want. And for the people who don't like it, well, tough shit. And yes, I'm waiting for a response to a video on TikTok that I saw just a little bit ago that I commented to, where a guy was commenting that he has a scraggly beard. He's waiting for it to grow in, but he's a 45-year-old white guy. And then this lady who's apparently in her 40s or so is saying that now that she's gender ambiguous, which makes it's like word salad, how the mustache is finally growing in and she can't wait to grow the beard out and to grow her hair this way because straight white guys hate it. And I looked at this lady's video and I'm like, okay, number one, if you're 45 and you're a cis white male, straight white guy, and your beard isn't growing in, it's not gonna grow in, dumbass. Second, to the chick who's claiming she's sexually ambiguous, no, you're not. We can tell you're a female. As for your haircut, it just turns these white guys on. I don't care. You go bald for all I give a shit. Use Nair. Make it nice and smooth, mirror ball finish. Wax that bitch if you want to. I don't care. You can glue mirrors to it. Make yourself a disco ball. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if you make your hair a mirror ball. I don't care if you grow a beard or anything out. But don't word salad us to death and then try to become a venom spewing thirst trap for guys who are into butch lesbians. Nobody cares. Anyway. I'm waiting for a response on that one because that one should be pretty goddamn hilarious. Now, as far as the shooting, the shooting in Minneapolis, which I'm sure True Crime Unleashed will shout the name of. Her name is Good. I don't need to know her full name. What I need to transcribe to you or to communicate to you is that the shooting was unjustified. It was unjustified, stupid, and they should have been de-escalating the situation, not escalating the situation. If you don't know the difference between those two terms, then I would suggest you shut your screaming howler and start looking at a dictionary. And yes, I am very aware that the right wing are saying that she was a deranged Democratic agitator. No, that's trying to paint a negative image of what this woman was doing and what happened to her. Well, if she hadn't gotten in the way, she told them to go around. They had enough room to go around. It's not our fault they now decided they're Gestapo. That's what ICE turned into in this video, is the fucking Gestapo. You need to move out of our way. Do it now. Don't complain. And if we sense a hint of you trying to do anything, we will kill you. How's that not Gestapo tactics? Ice Barber called her a domestic terrorist. Anybody who stands up to Trump's administration is a domestic terrorist by their own standard. Fortunately for most of us who think and have brains and read the Constitution, That's not what constitutes a domestic terrorist. This administration is nothing but domestic terrorisms, all ponied up in one gob. They want to interpret the Constitution how they want to, and just like uh, Peanut Butter Stalin said that he isn't affected by international law. He's only affected by his morality. This means we have a president we don't need to have. Seriously, this is a president we do not need in office when he says he's immune to anything and everything because he's guided by his own morality. If your morality is telling you that all this shit is sane and legal, I'd say you don't need to be in office. And yes, if the blue tsunami happens, which he's trying to fucking block at all costs, if the blue tsunami happens, you will see him get impeached. He will be the only president impeached 3 fucking times. And if everything goes correctly this time, you will see him fucking carted off to jail. He'll have to blow his brains out effectively to avoid prison. Literally, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, people were making comparisons to this lady and Ashley Babbitt, who was a part of the January 6th insurrection of the Capitol building. Now, I watched the video not even 10 minutes before I got on here, and it was stating, well, she posed no threat to anybody. She was a part of the mob. She was trying to gain access to an area that had been barricaded off. And hello. Yeah, now I've got a few viewers. But Ashley Babbitt was a part of a mob that was trying to attack the Capitol to change the outcome of the electoral votes. She was radicalized by Trump. For those who say she wasn't radicalized, she was just a good American. No, she was brainwashed. She thought the election could be stolen by the left. No, that's because Trump was so desperate to maintain power, he was willing to say or do anything to keep himself in that position. Anything. Ashley Babbitt fought for her country and then got radicalized by the far right-wing extremists in the Republican Party. This does not an intelligent person make. She was shot because she was with a mob. ICE in Minnesota was a mob. They were hindering her ability to get the hell out of there. They are not the same fucking thing. You've heard comparisons to Kirk, Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I haven't heard any comparisons to Charlie Kirk at all. But then again, I've been just kind of watching the footage. And yeah, all the right wingers are, well, she shouldn't have gotten in the way of fucking ICE. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten in her way. And then I released on social media last night something that I saw. And there's this guy I follow on TikTok. I don't recall what his name is, but his name is like what is up with all these co-hosting things? I don't know what's up with all these co-hosting things. All of a sudden I get like 5 things on TikTok stating people want me to come on their show. I'm on my own damn live stream, people. Come on. Give me a break. But yeah. I don't know what the comparison to Charlie Kirk is. But what's really disturbing to me, this is an aside, what's really disturbing to me is that people are comparing the murder of this Mrs. Good to George Floyd. Well, here's some important distinctions. We're not even fucking going to touch on race, because that's fucking fruit from a low-hanging tree, and that branch is about to snap off and drop on the fucking ground. So I'm not going to dignify that with a racial fucking aspect. As far as comparisons to George Floyd and this Mrs. Good being murdered, one, Good was trying to escape a situation that she wasn't breaking the law in any way. George Floyd was caught using counterfeit currency, then trying to evade arrest, obstruct the police from doing their job, claiming you have COVID and all this other crap, and you're afraid of tiny spaces, but yet you're in a minivan that's packed out with shit, with junk. I'm sorry, your argument is moot. So, and George Floyd, as I stated way back in the fucking day when I was covering the George Floyd shit, he had enough air to say, I can't breathe, 26, 27 times? He could breathe if he could say that. If he was saying, I can't breathe, and then fucking passed out, I get the I can't breathe movement. And am I saying his life was any less important? No, but he was breaking laws when he died. He literally was breaking laws when he died. Miss Good broke no laws when she was murdered. Yes, there is a phenomenal fucking life-altering difference between those two. And no, I'm not an anti-BLMer. I before George Floyd even died, I was saying all lives matter. And then it became, well, you're just a white guy. No, I'm not just a white guy. I'm looking at flat facts here. If you don't like it, that's your problem. But I've been saying all lives matter for quite some time. And when people are like, well, you don't stand with Black Lives Matter, I don't have to stand with Black Lives Matter. I do not have to. I don't think white lives matter any more than black lives or Latino lives or Asian lives or Latino. I don't care. The only lives that I don't think stand on the same equal as mine is that of child molesters and pedophiles. You can hate me if you want. I don't give a fuck. But I said what I said. Barring those two things, child murders and sexual predators, child molest, shit like that. Beyond that, you're standing on equal footing. Your life matters. Like the homeless guy down the street, his life matters just as much as mine does. The only difference is if I died, it's probably going to make the news more than it should. And the homeless guy, well, if he dies, everybody's just going to assume it was because he was mentally disturbed and was missing medication, which might be the truth, but his death will be a blip on the news if it gets mentioned at all. But my life is my life. Now, for all of those screaming about, for all the right-wingers who were screaming that, well, she should have just done what I said. She was trying to leave the situation when she was murdered. There's a huge fucking difference there. She shouldn't have interfered. She was telling them to go around her vehicle so that she could go behind them and get home. She was trying to actively leave. And yes, in this case, I would say that officer went out with the intent of shooting somebody. He was looking to whip out his weapon. When she was still backed up, before she even put her car in drive to go forward and turn the wheel to turn away from them, he already had his fucking gun drawn. I ask you this. How and why did he pull out his weapon before she went, put her car in drive and turned away from them? Because he was unduly afraid of what was going to happen next. As the wife of Good said, we had whistles, they had guns. What I find striking about all this is all of a sudden now, almost all ICE agents are now wearing face masks to prevent from being identified. And when you're arresting people, they're required to have some evidence of who the fuck you are. Yes, it's a requirement. If you're putting them in cuffs and they are in the handcuffs and they're not offering any resistance and you ask them for their name or badge number, they're actually required to give it. If there are people that are filming it, if you catch it on camera, that's on you, but you're still required to offer identification. That's not up for argument. For some of you, that's an argument all in itself. Well, they're trying to protect themselves from what? What could they be protecting themselves from? Well, they're afraid for their family. And quite a few January 6th rioters and insurrectionists decided to hump up and join in with ICE because then they get to shoot people and be violent and not have to answer for it. That's not a good thing. That's, in fact, a very shitty thing. And J.D. Vance said that she's a domestic terrorist and a professional disruptor. No, she wasn't. This Mrs. Good, who her son is now effectively an orphan. Both of his biological parents are dead. Dad died in 2023, and she died the mother died a few days ago, leaving the wife. Apparently, she turned lesbian or whatever, and married a woman, and now that wife has to raise the wife's child on her own, presumably. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that at all. I don't care that she's raising the child by herself. Do I feel for the kid? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. With 100%. And both Trump and Vance saying this officer has absolute immunity is a crock of shit. Absolute immunity does not qualify in this position. That usually refers to local law enforcement or county law enforcement, not for fucking ICE agents. ICE agents are not immune to prosecution. He merely wants to back everybody. And yes, I'm going to keep on calling this shooting an ICE murder. That's why it's hashtagged with ICE murder on it. I didn't drink enough water yesterday, so I got to kind of drink heavy today. A lot of water. A lot of peeing, but a lot of water. Now, are there any thoughts from you, my audience, that thoughts, comments, or ideas about this shooting and what could have happened differently or what should have happened that you would like to get off of your list? And yes, I'm paying attention to both feeds at the same time because this is a dual live stream. TikTok, YouTube. And I'll be answering in real time as fast as I can, provided you guys don't overwhelm me with weird stuff or any of that. Man, I'm getting so many damn invite this person to co-host now, invite this person to co-host now. This person wants you to co-host with them. I'm live streaming on 2 different platforms. I think that's nefarious enough. Now, if I shut down my TikTok feed, I will announce that. But right now, and I am live streaming through YouTube itself, not StreamYard, which I usually do for co-hosting with other people. Now, I may end up doing a shared live stream with True Crime Unleashed, but not right this second. Let's see. Kash Patel is saying this was a justifiable homicide. Okay, you explain to me how that was justified. I'm waiting for anybody to justify this to me. You make it justifiable in my brain, I will 100% retract the whole thing, shut the lives down, and shut up and issue a retraction tonight. If you can make it if you can turn this into a justifiable homicide, that's reasonable in my mind. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you. Bring it on. I doubt anybody can do it. Because as of now, most people who've been hitting on my TikTok have been smooth-brained idiots. Like a cockpit having a vacuum with the rear seat, with the rear passenger window open for a dog to hang its head out. How is that a vacuum? Y'all don't have any ballistics knowledge at all. But I am waiting for somebody to introduce this as a justifiable homicide in a way that makes sense. It's not going to happen because I haven't met anybody who could do it. I can't even justifiably make that a homicide right now. And I'm good at thinking of shit like that. And yes, it had to occur to me to make a short or a reel or a TikTok video where I don't say anything just to see what the reaction would be. Because y'all on social media are fickle as all hell. It wasn't justified, and I find it odd he's in charge of the FBI. Because he's rich, and Trump wants only rich people in charge of shit because, well, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They happen to have gotten rich off a couple of good deals. That's it. That's the quick and short of it. Now, the funny part is I have 2 people watching me on YouTube. Probably more than that, I don't know. But that's all it's saying. And at TikTok, I have 0 viewers. People coming in, people joining in and then leaving. Like I said, I'm not that concerned with the TikTok feed. The TikTok feed is only for viewers to bump up numbers. That's all it's for. Literally, there is no other purpose to having TikTok up because I don't want TikTok is not my main source of viewership. In fact, all it does is bump up numbers. And for me, if you don't like the video and you watch it, hey, that's just another tick on my thing. Okay, so with him being in charge of the FBI, can you see where this investigation is going? Well, the federal government is trying to obstruct because they want it declared off limits. That's not how an investigation works. An investigation works by them actually doing their fucking job. That's how all this works. Now, for context, when you got a bunch of rich people who don't know anything about anything, they're gonna try to get everybody else to do their job for them. And that way, all they have to do is sit there and look cool, or like in Kash Patel's case, look like he just hit a 20-ounce a highball of crack or fentanyl, and we good. We're gonna get these guys. We're gonna get them good. Like, no, take it easy. Nobody takes you seriously at all that I can tell of. Man, all these people are trying to get me to do stuff. There, people on TikTok are joining, and then I'm being asked if I could do this, that, and the other. It's like, no. But the investigation, they're trying to deny the investigation any air because they don't want it looked into. And if the president excuses this guy, President Trump's going to go for whoever is standing up for his agenda, which would include the officer who murdered Mrs. Good. And For some reason, there seems to be a lag on YouTube, even though I've set the thing for 1 second. So I don't know what's taking True Crime Unleashed so long to respond to stuff. But he's taking a while, apparently. Probably watching more than one thing at a time. Invite blah, blah, blah to co-host now. No, the people I want to co-host on TikTok aren't usually available. Like Pete Buttigieg. What's her name? Can't think of her damn name. The one who works at Ace, you know who you are. Yeah, having intelligent conversations with people is one thing. Also, another person I would love to invite on one of my live streams, probably through Duolingo, would be one of my nieces. Because loving to explore her vantage point versus mine, even if they're kind of aligned or completely disparate, getting that discussion in would be cool. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That's on her. That's a choice for her to make, not for me. And I'm not going to force anybody to join my podcast that doesn't want to be. I know True Crime Unleashed is more than happy to do one with me, but yeah, that happens way too often to be comfortable for my viewers. And crickets. But yeah, in conclusion, because I've made it to the 36-minute mark, going on 37. I've already done an hour-long live on TikTok and YouTube before. They really don't pay off that much. I get more views than a lot of other people do that do the same thing I do. Like I tell people, I've been doing this since like 2018 or before. On my own, I do it because I want to. I used to have to write scripts for these shows. I used to have to go buy a script and read the script and all this other crap. Now I've gotten to the point where I don't have to. I can spitball everything and still make it work, which is truly good for me, because going from writing an entire script and then trying to spend a week scripting a show was a pain in the ass, versus coming on here now and just winging it the whole way. Way better for me. Yes, I was scripting it because I didn't know what I was going to be talking about. I was trying to get my thoughts in the right place. And yeah, it happened. I started this up under a different name right before COVID, and I covered COVID. But now that I'm going to stop at the 40-minute mark, just so all of you know. Oh, God, my nose is stopping up. But in conclusion, Ashley Babbitt was a justifiable homicide. She was a justified shooting. She was part of an insurrection riot, or riotous mob, if you will. And she was trying to gain access to somewhere she had been denied access from because they were barricaded from getting in there. She was shot and killed. She was resisting orders from law enforcement. Mrs. Good was shot by an ICE agent who had already had his weapon drawn before she tried to pull away. He shot her point blank the side of the head. That's what you call murder. She wasn't offering resistance. They were obstructing her. They were trying to hold her without cause. So that is murder, not justifiable homicide. Ashley Babbitt has now received, her family has now received a settlement and everything for being an insurrectionist. This enables other insurrectionists to try to seek the same remuneration. Now, to end off, her murder is not justifiable. The officer shouldn't be pardoned. He should have to face disciplinary action. I personally think he needs to be taken off of ICE, and I think ICE needs to redo their playbook, because, as one of my posts from yesterday clearly illustrates, some ICE agents are so fucking desperate for action, they will escalate the situation by stepping in front of a vehicle to be hit. That way they can draw their weapon and shoot. Having said that, I'm going to end my TikTok live stream. Stay thirsty, my friends. If I can get this button to work. There we go. Stay thirsty, my friends. Have fun. This is Sceptical Scotsman out. Okay, I had 87 views on that one, just so you guys hear about it. Apparently, I'm still scoring higher with all of that. Getting photos now. What in the blue hell? Sorry, I'm reading. Oh, let's see here. I missed messages. I'm just going through the messages here. I'm still live on YouTube. Yes, I'm just still live. I'm just catching up on stuff. Okay, now exclusively for my YouTube people. Yeah, I can't fathom the level of stupid that exists right now with the right wingers. I don't know where they're getting all this information, but what I'm still confused by is they have so many fucking echo chambers for their own opinions, their right wing opinions, which nobody cares about except for them. Yet they need to feel like they're the loudest voice on any said platform. Otherwise, they don't feel justified and vindicated. I'm sorry, you're not the only voice in the room. Use your goddamn brainstem. I mean, when somebody mentions a vacuum in a cockpit of a car, what are you, stupid? When I mentioned that in my video of him putting his hand, his gun was 8 inches away from her fucking head inside the window, the comments therein would make a forensic analyst cringe. In order for there to be a vacuum, everything has to be airtight. And we all know vehicles are not fucking that airtight. In the video, her driver's side window never goes down. Never once. So trying to justify this shooting is almost on the side of fucking retardation. But since I am now approaching time where I need to get off of here and see who else wants to join in on a shared live stream, I'll start worrying about that. Let's see. The ICE training facility in Georgia is complaining that they're getting inundated with applicants who can't do basic physical. Yeah, exactly. People who are trying to join ICE aren't in shape. They just want to be able to carry guns, shoot, and arrest people that they don't like members of the KKK who are out of shape, all that crap. But I digress. I'm going to get off of here and express some interest to me. If you want to do a live stream with me, I will go on StreamYard for that one, and we can have a romping good time having a panel. And yes, I say panel because I'm hoping to have more than one person on. If I can get 3 people on, that would be awesome, but I doubt that's going to happen. So y'all hit it hard. Keep living. Rage against the machine, if you will. And stay thirsty, my friends. This is a Skeptical Scotsman. Have a good one.